It's a war going on outside for real because the WNBA is looking more like a war zone than professional basketball. And I just got to keep it real. I don't know what's going on here. This wasn't some basketball play. This was a straight up brutal hit that left one of the league's biggest, brightest stars, Cameron Brink, with a broken nose. And the craziest part, the refs didn't do nothing. No review, no foul, nothing. It's embarrassing. It's negligent, and it sparked this massive outrage with everybody asking how the league can just let this happen. So look, don't come for me. I'm just calling it for what it is and saying what everybody's thinking. And WMA players, y'all out here trying to hold out and lock out for more money. Understandable. But maybe you should be holding out for better officiating first, because this is just straight up wild. Kathy Engelbert, player safety is like out the window. It's clearly not a priority. I don't know why, because this looks more like a level 4 prison ball than the WNBA. But what are we even watching right now? So check this out. Let's break down what happened more, because like you guys just seen it visually, but I want to break it down and really break it down from a C student perspective because it was just nasty. It's the second quarter. Sparks versus the Indiana. It's the Sparks versus Indiana Fever, and mind you, Nalyssa Smith drives to the paint, and Cameron Brink, the 6'4" supermodel on the court, is right there on defense. And this wasn't just a basketball move. That was the Rock pulling off the armband and delivering the people's elbow. And that's what Nalyssa gave Cameron Brink, as you guys just seen in the video. Nasty work, ridiculous. Smith goes up for the layup, and her off arm, her whole elbow, as you guys seen, and forearm just swings out right into Brink's face. Brink just collapses, hits the floor, grab her in the face, and the game just keeps going like nothing happened. And the refs act like they were looking at the ceiling and didn't even act like it was worth reviewing. And Brink is just bleeding all over the court, and her teammate, uh, that's Derica Hamby, has to help her get to the locker room. And Brink is furious, looking around like, "Are you serious?" And you got a ref with a clear view, and the whistle never blows. The commentators were stunned, and you can hear them saying it was really more than an elbow, asking why it wasn't an offensive foul. And I mean, come on, I'm just calling it what it is. It was crazy because you have someone on the sidelines literally saying, yelling out 3 times, "Where's the replay?" as they cleared the court, and still, as fans was a fan was calling out, asking for the replay, they act like they didn't hear there was nothing to it. In correction, I'm just so used to saying Alyssa Smith being with the Indiana Fever. It was actually the Las Vegas Aces, right? She's with the Aces now. However, Las Vegas Aces player Nalyssa Smith, that's what happened, right? So, and let's be honest, Nalyssa Smith is just trash for that. She's garbage. I mean, wonders why she was even left or even was off the Indiana Fever team now as it is anyway, because she was always wishy washy as a player when I watched her with the Indiana Fever. But why are you throwing that off arm when you're already at the rim? Just lay the ball in. The elbow was completely unnecessary and it was dangerous. And they were literally cleaning blood off the court while fans were screaming for a replay, as you guys just heard me just play the clip. So what were the refs looking at? What is Kathleen Engelbert looking at? Because clearly she ain't watching the same game as the rest of us. And the reaction online was immediate. It was furious. And the clip went viral. That's why we're talking about it. And that phrase prison ball started trending. It's when the game is just overly aggressive, lawless, and the refs have totally lost control. Fans were asking, what are we doing here? Is this the WWE or the WNBA? And the anger was pointed at two people, Nalyssa Smith for the hit and the rest for doing nothing. Smith's play was called dirty, whack, and trash ball, and social media was flooding with comments like there was no reason for her to swing that elbow like that into Cameron Brink unless she wanted to hurt her. And a lot of people are pointing to a pattern of certain players getting targeted. But most of the heat was for the officiating, and the fact that a ref was looking right at it was just unexcusable. And this wasn't a mistake, it was a failure to protect your players. And I can't believe this happened to Cameron Brink. And she doesn't deserve it at all. Between ACL injuries and now broken noses, the WNBA is turning into jail ball. And Nalyssa Smith, dirty whack, glad the Indiana Fever got rid of her because she does play trash ball. Like I said, she had so many inconsistencies. She'll like have good nights with Indiana Fever, and then she'll like it's like wish you never know. It was like irrational ball play because you never know if she'll have a hot night and she'll have a hot spark for one night and then the flame just flames are just you know fanned off. Like you never know when she'll get hot again or actually be effective to add value to the Indiana Fever when she did play for the Indiana Fever. So it's like the flames just disappeared. So look, this horrible moment for Cameron Brink didn't just happen out of nowhere. It's a symptom of a much bigger league-wide crisis that I've been saying over and over and over. The officiating is beyond broken. And now look, I'm gonna be objective here. The call should have been called, but I do understand that things happen. When you're down in the paint and you're trying to get the ball and you may be battling for the rebound. But when I look at the clear, but what I don't understand is why your off arm is flailing all over the place like an inflated balloon when you didn't have to do none of that. When the ball that the hand that got your hand on the ball to do the layup is going up. So usually this hand is down. You may be like low key trying to like have your hand down as you're going up for the layup, so you keep their body off you a little bit to avoid the contact, but still take the contact as you go up for the hit, as Cameron Brink trying to contest the ball. But this was none of that. This was like the hand just flailing all over the place, like and just hitting niggas. Like it's just what it is. So look, this horrible moment for Cameron Brink didn't just happen out of nowhere. Like I said, it's a bigger issue. Fans see it, coaches see it. Players are literally crying at press conferences. We had Kelsey Plum, Gabby Williams, Cheryl Reeves, Stephanie White, even Caitlin Clark speak on it. Everybody knows the refs are failing, except the people in charge. And look, I know players want to push for higher salaries, and they should, but maybe the first order of business should be demanding better officials because this officiating is beyond broken. And you got top coaches like Becky Hammond of the Aces, who we know went off on the refs for allowing dangerous plays after a hit to Aja Wilson's head. So you see players like Kelsey Plum all scratched up, frustrated that she's not getting calls. And it's gotten to the point that where this doesn't even feel like basketball anymore. Noses are getting broken, ponytails are being pulled midair, and there's no accountability. And it's time for a real conversation about WNBA officiating because this is an embarrassment. I think they need to stricken the rules because we know how females can get petty, man. You score on them and then they sit there and they do a little just grab the ponytail and do little side swipes, um, little petty indirect things that have nothing to do with the sport of basketball and just being competitive in its nature, but more being spiteful and bitter. So it's clear this is a massive issue. So I have to ask you, what do you think? Was the hit on Cameron Brink intentional or just a reckless basketball play? And more importantly, who's to blame? Who's more to blame here? A dirty player like Nalyssa Smith or the rest for their complete inaction? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below because this is a conversation the whole WNBA community needs to be having. And if you agree that this is an issue that the league needs to fix, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.